Hello, everyone. This is Arkasia Cox with APACHE, and I'm here tonight with Carol Becker. Good evening, Carol. It's great having you here.
Thank you for having me. This is wonderful.
Well, Carol and her husband, Jim, have homeschooled their children from kindergarten through 12th grade. Carol is actually from HSLDA and serves as the team leader for the high school educational consultants there. And she works closely with homeschooling families, guiding them through the high school process. So tonight we're going to talk about high schooling. I know that a lot of homeschoolers have questions about high schooling. A lot of them feel confident for kindergarten, but when their kids hit 9th grade, things get a little bit scary for them. So we're going to hopefully ease some fears tonight and kind of whet people's appetites about what you're going to be speaking about at our convention coming up here in March. So let's just get on to our questions that we have here tonight. So we have, I mentioned we have homeschoolers that get nervous when their kids start reaching that high school, usually 7th, 8th grade. They start thinking about that those high school years, and they start getting a little bit nervous. And moms can feel kind of inadequate to teach their children at the high school level. I mean, it's very comfortable to teach kindergarten because you think, how can we mess up kindergarten? And then freshman comes. So what encouragement could you give those families who are unsure about those high school years?
Well, they're not alone. I think all of us shudder a little bit when we face high school, and we all feel better once the first has made it through. But the nice thing about high school is that it is still homeschooling. So what worked in K through 8th works in high school too. I know the academic subjects become a little bit more involved, and all of us have some fears left over from high school, trust me. So the idea of maybe biology again doesn't sound so good. The nice thing is you can pick the subjects that you feel comfortable with. Maybe math and history aren't something that you feel uncomfortable with. You might feel that you could work with curriculum. And then there are ways that you can work with other people through outside teachers, either through a co-op or an online class, or dual enrollment through a community college or other four-year college, in order to cover the things that you can't cover in high school, because we all have a subject area. Mine's foreign language, where we just bow down and say help.
You're right.
But ways to do all of it, and whether you're a new homeschooling mom or you're a veteran for years, or you now have a new child that's so different than your other ones, there is something about homeschooling that can customize high school for their future. And that's the best thing, is that it really is customizable for them.
That's great about homeschooling too, is it's so customizable. And you mentioned, about seeking outside help with the subjects that you aren't comfortable with. For me, it's math. I don't do math. I hate math. I'm not comfortable with math. And I've told my husband, once our kids hit high school and they hit math and algebra 2 and geometry, I turn the reins over to you. I'm no longer responsible for that part, which is nice that I have confidence I can do that, but not just with our spouses, but there's other people out there that you can actually seek, like you mentioned, dual credits with the local colleges. And then there's different people that offer their services. I know we have a great homeschooling community here in the Peoria area, yes. And there's many people that will offer their student services, tutoring stuff. So yes, I definitely agree with you that, we're all in this together. And there's definitely help out there for those people that are a little bit less unsure of things that they can teach. So that was a great answer, Carol. Thank you. So moving on here.
Yeah, I don't want people to undersell themselves.
Right.
Sometimes the stuff you were really bad in, if you will put some investment and time in, it could be the sweetest subject you do with your kids. So
that's true too, because there definitely been times when I haven't been. For this year, it's French. I don't know French. I'm not very well in French, but my son wanted to take French as his freshman year of foreign language. I'm like, okay, we're going to try this. And I got a curriculum that I generally love the idea of the curriculum. So we're working through it together. I might not be as confident but we know we're working through it together. And it's also showing my son that even when mommy's recognizing the fact that I have some weaknesses and I'm not confident, but I'm still going to try to persevere and work through it. So that also teaches them some great things too in homeschooling.
That's a wonderful example to set for your son.
Exactly. So you're going to be doing some workshops at convention on transcripts. And I know a lot of people have questions about transcripts. So why don't you give us like a little mini brief description of what transcripts are and why a student may need it? Because I know not every student needs transcripts. So that might be something that you can expand on there.
Yeah, well, we say that the best graduation gift you can give your teen is a transcript, because young adults have been known to change their minds. And we've had the privilege of working with grown adults who mom passed away in a car accident and they never did a transcript. And we're willing to interview them to come up with a transcript. But the best gift you can give is a transcript. And really what it is, it's a 4-year report card, all on one piece of paper. It has course titles and credits and grades and a GPA. And we even have formula sheets to help you calculate all of those things. So the idea is, if a diploma says you've graduated, a transcript says this is what you took to graduate. And the transcript is the one that has feet. The diploma, like a doctor's office, just hangs there. It doesn't go anywhere. You get one and that's all you get. But if you ever need to show other people you graduated, the transcript is the one that moves, that goes places. And so that's a marvelous gift, because employers can want it. Apprenticeship programs, EMT training, colleges and scholarships. So, that's one of the services at HSLDA that we really want to help all of our members have a transcript that they're very pleased with. It's very clear and understandable. And that's the best gift you can give to any team.
That's great. And when you're doing that workshop, I know that you're going to have definitely some tricks and some ways to come up with the transcripts there and just give parents more confidence. I think you even have some examples that you show, and I've taken the HSLDA transcript workshop, and that's what helped me, because I've graduated one and we did a transcript. So, and it was through HSLDA that I was able to create that transcript. So that will be a great workshop for all of our homeschooling parents who have kids in high school. I would definitely encourage them to take that workshop on how to create transcripts.
And even if you have combined transcripts from public school from a year, we'll show you how to do it all. So the idea is when it's all done, you'll have a record that you'll be very happy with. And that's what's really important, is to be able to offer that and be able to show the world what you did and feel confident about it.
Definitely. So you mentioned high school diploma, and I know we do get this question a lot through Apache, is, does my student need a high school diploma? And where do I get a high school diploma? Because I'm homeschooling. So what does that look like for a homeschooling parent?
Yeah, well, you have a wonderful law there in your state that allows you, under the Illinois homeschool law, to offer and to give a homeschool diploma. And it is a major milestone of your teen's life. If you don't want to have an actual diploma, I can understand that, but HSLDA is happy and proud to send you a very beautiful diploma that you can sign that shows that your teen has reached this milestone. If they have complied with your homeschool law and they've done all the courses that you have set for them to graduate, then let's celebrate this milestone. It doesn't have to be the typical graduation ceremony, but let's celebrate that. That diploma actually means something to employers. You can check that off on the box that you have a diploma. And the neat thing is HSLDA is willing to defend that diploma to anyone who questions it.
Definitely. We actually went through HSLDA to get my daughter's diploma. Highly recommend it. It was a great looking diploma. My daughter still has it and loves it. And there's also moms that I know of that have made their own homeschool diploma. So either way, I mean, both options work really well. And you're right, that is something to celebrate. So definitely give them something to show off, to show that accomplishment that, yes, I managed to get through high school. Maybe even mama wants a high school diploma saying, yes, I graduated one. This is my diploma showing I graduated one. So as we're talking about high schoolers here, we're going to kind of switch things around. We've been talking about homeschooling parents from the perspective of homeschooling parents, but let's talk about the teens, high school teens. What are some things that they should know in order to prepare them for stepping out in the world? I know that a lot of teen or homeschoolers, some follow the college path, some follow the career path, some follow technical school, some girls just want to grow up and get married and be a mom, which is perfectly fine too. So what are some things that we should be teaching our high school teens, or that high school teens should be working on while they're in high school that can help them in their adult life?
Yeah, that's one of the workshops that I'm presenting is really on time management and study skills, not because academics is important, but funny, it's only in high school that you have to be good at everything. Once you leave high school, you don't have to be good at everything in college. You just have to be good in one area. You know, um, in essence, you're using academics to teach some things that are far more important, like the training of a mind to think, to reason, to discern. You're also using the mind to organize and classify and be able to compare and contrast. You're also, time management is the most effective use of your time. And that's not just a bunch of skills, it's actually a life skill of making the most of the time God has given you. So the idea of what we'd like to get across is that you're going to use academics to actually teach those life skills. Mm-hmm. And the next thing that happens is your teen's future is going to rest on their strengths. Well, do they know what their strengths are? Most teens are very uncertain about their strengths. And that's one of the privileges of being a homeschooling parent, is to observe with very kind eyes, not to see the mistakes and flaws. I'm very good at that. Actually see the strengths and gifts and talents that God's given them. Mm-hmm. That will be the thing that they will actually build their life upon. And it seems to me that this is such a unique time in high school where you hand off between being, you know, the leader and they're the follower to now a partnership. And mm-hmm. you have a very immature partner you're working with. But this is the time when they make that transition over and you're almost forming the relationship that will define your relationship for the rest of their lives when they're in college and they're dating and they have fiancés and weddings and grandchildren and all sorts of things. That is all being prepared in this amazing time. So don't miss it. Mm-hmm. Worried about just the academics. So you can talk to that a lot since you have a daughter that's now, I guess, 20 and in college.
Yeah, that's my oldest. And we actually just had a perfectly good example of this this morning with my son, who is a freshman. We were, he was dealing with a situation and we were able to walk him through some different steps and some different options. And just with reasoning, we're like, okay, well, look at your options. What are your options? And we didn't give him the answer. We wanted him to come up with the answer and reason through it, like what would be the best thing to do. Here's my choices and which one would be the best option for me to do. So definitely those are some definitely good skills that teens should learn in the adulthood. And you like I said, you can take everyday opportunities to teach those things along with the academics. So you made some great points there, Carol. I love that. So we're talking about high schoolers here, and we mentioned that, you know, high schoolers, some go off to college, some go off to technical school, some have other focuses that they want to accomplish with their life. So what if my high schooler does not want to go to college? What are some other opportunities out there for them, and what steps should they be taking in high school if they're going to follow that path? Because I know that path will look different than a college path.
It will. And we also know that there are some 11th and 12th graders who have changed their mind at the last minute. So some you don't want to eliminate options as you still make room for other options. Mm-hmm. One of the things that we'll talk about is career aptitude testing. It's not a, I like to think of it as computer dating. It kind of gives you a smattering of what you might want to look at. And depending on how thoughtfully you answer the questions is how useful the report that comes back. But that's a good place to start learning about opportunities out there that maybe your parents don't know about. I mean, I only know about the jobs that I've done and that my family's done and friends have done. There's a lot of, you know, work in the world that I have really no exposure to. So that's the first way that you could get a glimpse of what is, depending on their talents and their interests and the way they like to organize and the environments they like to work in. That's one way. And then the next thing that we'll talk about has to do with how to use interviewing in order to really find out more about various career opportunities. And that's a very neat technique in order to help teens investigate with people who really are knowledgeable about skills. And people say, well, I don't know people but in that field, but between the people you know in your neighborhood, your family, your associates, your work, your church, your community organizations, and the 60 people they know, pretty soon you have, 3,000 people that you access to if you're willing to get the information out there. And all of that is ways for you to investigate career opportunities that just aren't the standard. Entrepreneurship is not the standard. People don't go to college to be entrepreneurs. want to intern under a successful entrepreneur. So there's just ideas. They might be of the creative style, so they want to do stuff that's more artistic in nature, musical, or in the other of arts or jewelry, or maybe they want to do things that are more trade rating recognized, like apprenticeship programs. So there's so many things that are out there to investigate, and knowing where to go looking, and know when to go looking, and then get your teen have invest some skin in the process. One thing to tell them, it's another thing for them to investigate. And we want to encourage them to really start taking their future and see what doors open.
That's great. That's great. And definitely research. There's definitely lots of different researching opportunities to research into things like that. You know, for my own personal life, my second daughter, who has decided that she wants to be a doula, well, we did a lot of research into that and what that all takes. And because that doesn't necessarily mean schooling, and what the certification process is, and the way and who she wants to be certified under, because there's definitely different organizations out there, and the training that goes into that. And then on the flip side of that, I mean, a doula is pretty much their own business. So now she's learning business skills too, along with that. And we sat down and we had her think about, what she was going to call her business and her business prospect and what she wanted it to look like. And so it was definitely some great opportunities that, we've decided, and she's decided that she didn't want to go the college route. This is where she was looking at going. So it's created a lot of different opportunities that we've had to sit down with her and just kind of walk along through her and kind of show her, and then see her take the reins a little bit and kind of be in control and decide what she wants to do and how she wants to do it. It's been a great opportunity. We've loved it. So I definitely know that there are opportunities out there for those non-college kids and for those college kids, because like I mentioned earlier, my oldest, she's a senior at Olivet. So there's definitely different opportunities out there. Those are some great ideas, Carol. Thank you for those ideas. And I want to encourage everybody to go to your workshops at the APACHE Convention, especially if you're nervous about high school and you're nervous about transcripts, or you want a little bit more confidence. Your topics are really great that we're going to be having there at our convention coming up here in March. So we're really excited to have you. Registration right now is currently open. So if you have not registered for convention yet, please hop on over to our website at apachecentralillinois.org, and you can click on the virtual registration for if you want the virtual convention option, or we're actually doing it in person. We love the fact, hasn't it been so nice that we have ideas for an in-person convention? I know we missed it last year. We missed not having the convention, Carol. I'm sure that you guys at HSLDA missed those opportunities too, coming to conventions. So it's definitely nice having that in-person feeling.
It is. And we love to talk to you individually so that you can customize for your team.
That's true. That's great. So like I said, convention registration is open. Thank you, Carol, for joining us tonight. Anybody who registers for convention by midnight tomorrow night, actually, there's our drawing this week is going to be a WCIC basket, but we are doing weekly drawings until convention closes. So you guys could be one of those winners. Thanks, Carol, for joining us tonight.
Thank you, Arkasia.